Notts collapse again and heading for defeat. Essex dominated day 1 at Chelmsford to bowl out Notts and reach the close with all 10 wickets in hand and just 119 runs behind. But Notts were able to make the crucial breakthrough they needed early on day 2 when Stuart Broad claimed the scalp of Old England comrade Sir Alistair Cook when the opener had a nibble at one and could only edge to Mullany at third slip. That brought Tom Westley to the crease and he greeted Broad by taking a couple of boundaries from an over. And soon after, Nick Brown was able to bring up his 50 with a couple off Fletcher. Westley helped himself to another boundary off Broad, but the England paceman was able to get his revenge just 2 balls later when he trapped the right-hander LBW for 12. Brown and Lawrence then looked to steady the ship for a period after the loss of a couple of early wickets in the morning. Lawrence looked to be settling in as he helped himself to a couple of typically stylish boundaries off Fletcher and Carter. But the big Notts paceman had the last laugh when Lawrence played a loose drive and feathered through to the keeper Moores. And Fletcher made sure it was Notts' morning when he produced a peach to dismiss Patel, the Essex youngster edging to Matt Carter in the slips, to reduce Essex to 136 for 4 on the stroke of lunch. The fight back continued for Notts as the afternoon session began, as Nick Brown tried to cut Carter away and could only pick out Samit Patel at backward point. And in the very next over, Essex were in all sorts of trouble when Captain Tendashkata shouldered arms to a booming Fletcher in-swinger. And Matt Carter made it 3 wickets in 3 overs as the Essex innings began to unravel when White edged an attempted sweep onto his pad and into the hands of Slater at short leg. Essex were in danger of a first innings deficit despite dominating day 1 when Carter struck again to remove Porter, with Slater again taking the catch. But the experienced pair of Harmer and Siddle were able to dig in and take their side into the lead with a partnership that frustrated Nottinghamshire. They were able to bring up the 50 stand and move past the 200 mark to claim their side a batting point. The stand had reached 81 before Fletcher claimed Harmer LBW. And in his next over, the big Notts pacer was able to complete a brilliant 5-wicket haul when he rearranged the stumps of last man Sam Cook to wrap up the Essex innings and bring about the tea break. The Notts openers Duckett and Slater came out after tea and made a watchful start to their second innings as they tried to eat away at the deficit. But Ben Slater signalled his intent by sending Cook to the fence twice in succession, and Duckett got in on the act with a powerful boundary of his own. The openers were able to wipe out the deficit and began to look increasingly confident. But disaster struck when Duckett's eyes lit up at a Harmer delivery, but he could only pick out Porter at mid-off. And things went from bad to worse for the visitors just 1 ball later when Porter trapped Slater LBW, leaving Notts 2 wickets down and just 16 ahead. Notts were in danger of collapsing again when Clark fell in somewhat bizarre fashion when he edged onto his thigh and the ball looped up to Cook at slip. And Notts were heading for defeat after their second collapse of the match when Mullany and Patel fell to consecutive balls from Harmer, both catches being taken by Tendashkata at short leg. Night watchman Matt Carter was able to survive the hat-trick ball from Harmer, but that was the extent of his resistance as he fell LBW to Siddle. That left Notts staring down the barrel at stumps on 90 for 6, just 38 ahead with only 4 wickets remaining, and heading for defeat on day 3.